Apostle Michael Olatunde Kuku was born at Kuku's compound, 40 in Tebo Street, Ijebu-Ode, on Saturday, July 31st, 1931. His father's name is Chief Bosari Adeoye Kuku and his mother's Madam Abusatu Oriaron Kuku, both deceased. Young Kuku spent his childhood days at Ijebu-Ode until 1943, when he started in Standard 1 and left the school at the end of the following year in Standard 2. It was then transferred to Bishop Oluwole Memorial School, Agege, in 1945 to read Standard 3. It was through with his primary education in 1948 and obtained his first school leaving certificate. In 1949, he was admitted to Class 2 at Igbobi College, Yaba, where he finished up his secondary school education in Class 5 in 1952, the year he obtained his Cambridge Overseas School Certificate. Early in 1953, he started teaching mathematics to lower classes in Victory College, Ikare, under the principalship of late Reverend Akinrele. He, however, returned to Lagos in May of the same year after passing the Civil Service Entrance Examination in List A to start work in the P&T stores at Ebute Meta as Senior Stores Assistant Grade 3. In 1956, he was promoted to Senior Stores Assistant Grade 2, and 2 years later, in 1958, Assistant Stores Officer and Stores Officer in 1960. In 1962, he was elevated Higher Stores Officer. In 1971, he was posted to the Contract Control Group of the P&T Department as the Stores Coordinator of the group, the position he held until his transfer to the P&T Training School in 1977. In 1969, he was transferred to Northern Nigeria as the Territorial Stores Officer, Northern Region, in charge of the P&T stores in that territory. In 1972, he was promoted Senior Stores Officer and 6 years later, in 1978, raised to Chief Stores Officer, the post he held until his retirement from the civil service. Thus, he worked in all sections of the P&T stores while in the service. As a civil servant, he took the following 3 professional courses in England: a training course in 1969, a stores management course in 1976, and a stores instruction course in 1978. In 1977, he assumed the headship of P&T Training School Store Studies, Oshodi, a position he held until his retirement in 1981. On retirement, he established a photocolor laboratory which he closed down to give his whole attention to the service of God. Kuku, the oldest known member of the CAMC today, speaking chronologically, joined the church on Sunday, December 14th, 1952, the second day the church was founded at Ojo Street, Odiolowo, Mushi, during an outside evangelism conducted by Prophet J.A. Agbona. Tunde had just left the secondary school and obtained his school certificate. He was among the first 32 converts baptized by Pastor Agboge on Friday, December 26, 1952, and 4 years later in 1956 was one of the 3 first elders appointed in the mission. Others were Elder N.O. Olukoya and Elder I.O. Olaokpa. After his conversion, wherever the church preached the word of God, Kuku was there. The family name at Ijebu-Ode was noted for its Islamic faith, and young Kuku was therefore persecuted for his diversion into the Christian faith. The first General Secretary appointed in the CAMC was Mr. Ogundare, who was in this post for 3 years between January 1953 and December 1955. Kuku stepped into his shoes between 1956 and 1958 and between 1962 and 1965. He was one of the 5 trustees appointed on Monday, August 20th, 1962 and was reputed to be the General Secretary of the mission when the church was registered in March 1964. On Sunday, November 21st, 1976, Kuku was ordained pastor, and a few months later, precisely in March 1977, promoted to the rank of a district superintendent. Lagos area. As district superintendent, he introduced most of the documents now being used at the secretariat, namely the baptismal record, the church diary, members' sick report book, record of tithes book, the birth register, members register, and the monthly progress report. On Monday, February 5th, 1978, Kuku was raised to an assistant general superintendent, and during the convention service in December 1978 was further elevated to the high post of vice president of the mission. Since January 1984, he has made the service of God his field of concentration and has therefore taken charge of our Mafoluku branch of the CAMC, later headed the Olorunshogo branch before returning back to the church headquarters in Idioro, where he served till his death. Apostle Kuku carried his evangelism outside the shores of Nigeria, where he went on holy pilgrimage to Jerusalem in 1983. Apostle Michael Olatunde Kuku was legally married to Chief Mrs. Olufunmilayo Kuku on Tuesday, April 3rd, 1956, a union blessed with 6 children.
Chief Mrs. Folusho Aroyewun, Dr. Mrs. Olubukola Banjoko, USA, Pastor Adeniyi Kuku, 101, UK, Mrs. Yemisi Olumuwagun, Mrs. Yetude Ogun, Republic of Ireland, Pastor Engineer Yemi Kuku, UK, and many grandchildren.
Our remarkable father, it's been 30 years since you left us, and yet your presence continues to linger in our hearts and minds. Today, as we gather to remember you, reflect upon your incredible impact on our lives and the beautiful memories we shared. Your departure may have created a void, but your love and teachings continue to guide us every step of the way. Continue to rest in peace, dear Father. You are deeply missed, but never forgotten.
Mrs. Olufunmilayo Adeniyi Kuku. Ìgbà yẹn òun wà ní Igbobi College, èmi wà ní Girls High School lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Torí Bishop Olúwọlé láti ríra wa tá ti ń fẹ́ra wa bọ̀ títí tá fi di ẹni tá marry. Pàtàkì ni o, èèyàn tó láàánú, tó nífẹ̀ẹ́, ó dẹ̀ wà nífẹ̀ẹ́ gbogbo káàkiri, pàápàá nínú ìjọ tá a wà yẹn, Christ Apostolic Mission Church yẹn. Àwa ni the first person tá a marry níbẹ̀. Ó dẹ̀ jẹ́ ẹni tí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ gan-an. Àmọ́ ikú ló dé torí nínú ìjọ yẹn ó jẹ́ pàtàkì kan ní Christ Apostolic Mission Church. Ó jẹ́ pàtàkì kan, ẹni tó wá dá ìjọ yẹn lẹ̀, Apostolic Agbọ̀nà, kò lè fi ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ṣeré torí pé tá a bá mú Apostolic Agbọ̀nà yẹn, òun ni the next person tó kàn láàárọ̀ báyìí. Títí dalẹ́ wọ́n lè wà lórí meeting yẹn kán má kúrò títí dalẹ́ pé kíjọ yẹn tá lè dúró. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ gbà fún un. Mi ti ẹ̀ mọ̀ pé mo lè wà láyé títí dé yóò bá jẹ́ pé agbára Ọlọ́run. Agbára Ọlọ́run ni. Mi ti ẹ̀ rò pé mo lè lo ọjọ́ méjì lẹ́yìn ikú ẹ̀ tó ti kú, but Ọlọ́run ló mọ gbogbo bí nǹkan ṣe máa rí. Ohun tí mo lè sọ ni wípé kán jọ̀ọ́ kán dira wọn mú. torí wípé bàbá wọn jẹ́ ẹni tó ní ìfẹ́, ó ní ìfẹ́ púpọ̀, ó dẹ̀ ní ìtẹríba, ó ní ìfẹ́, ó dẹ̀ ní ìtẹríba. Nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yẹn kò síbi tí ò lè bá yẹn tó bá lù ibì kan ó yá nísìn nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì kẹ́ tó sọ lẹ́ẹ̀mejì ó ti tẹ̀lé mi, ó dẹ̀ ti ń bá ṣèyàn lọ. Nǹkan bá ti ní ó yá ni. Kò fi ọ̀rọ̀ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ṣeré rárá. Èmi balẹ̀ gbẹ̀rún ahọ́n fún yìn Olùgbàlà. Ògo Ọlọ́run ọba mi, ìṣẹ́gun oore rẹ̀